Here I'm going to do a review of the Dominion promos up to this date, which I guess kind of sucks because at some point it means that this video is going to become outdated and people are going to be like, where's the newest promo? I don't know where the newest promo is. It didn't exist at this point. But I'm going to review. It's not going to be like the expansion reviews. This is not a unit. It's each card individual. I'm just going to give a grade to each card individually. And with that, I'll go ahead and do the should you buy these things at the start. Different from the expansion ones. Promos, if you can kind of do an evaluation of your price performance from wherever you're going to buy them from. I mean, they're great if you get them like for free somehow. But if you're buying them, you have to kind of look at your price performance per card. And you'll probably determine that what you're doing is you are essentially making a donation to where you're buying them from if you're buying them. And so that's, I guess, I'm not going to say whether you should be making that donation or not, but I don't think that there's really a go one way or the other on it, but just be aware that you are doing that. In any case, we are going to go through the promos in chronological order, starting with the first promo ever, which was Envoy, which was released in November 2008, between the base set and Intrigue. Envoy was an outtake from Intrigue, so it has a decision in it. You can see the chooses one right there. Envoy is a draw card. It's not a particularly exciting draw card. Like, it is just this kind of opponent choice thing, which makes it a little bit on the slow side. As far as promos go, I don't know that it's something that's like a standout as like, this is a promo, this is really cool. And so I'm not going to grade it particularly highly. It's pretty boring, and so I'm giving it a C-. Next is Black Market, which was released in March of 2009. This was between Intrigue and Seaside. It was a Seaside outtake. You might be noticing a theme here. But what Black Market does is it gives you, a whole bunch of other stuff that you can be buying from. It says every unused Kingdom card, but it used to say every unused Kingdom card, but now it just says make a deck out of different unused Kingdom cards that you get to buy from. And you can do that, which is pretty exciting because, you get to be buying from stuff that isn't in the game. You get to be seeing like lots of different cards. You get to make a deck with lots of different cards, which is exciting. It gives you a choice, lots of choices on what to, either take from Black Market or take from the Kingdom. There's two issues here. One is that there are certain cards that you can get out of the Black Market where if you have a otherwise decent deck, they are going to dominate games. Extra turns, particularly Outpost, is a notable one. Something like King's Court can really make things work a whole lot better in your deck very suddenly. So, these things, it's like, although you have this decision, it's not really a real decision when those things come up, and they will twist the game to be something that's maybe a little bit less exciting. And then the other thing is that sometimes you'll have Black Market in games where you don't have some thing that you need, whether that's extra gains other than Black Market, Village, draw, and so you can kind of get this really unpleasant game where you're trying to play Black Market just to fish one of these things out of it, which is not a great game. It's slow, it's boring, it's not a pleasant experience, and so you try to balance out this good thing about Black Market. You get the excitement. The bad things about Black Market, it can be kind of annoying at times, and I'm just going to average those out into a B grade. Alright, Stash. This was released in February 2010 to commemorate Dominion winning the Spiel des Jahres. This was between Seaside and Alchemy, but it wasn't like between Seaside and Alchemy for that reason. Stash was an outtake from, I think, Seaside. And Stash is it's a silver. It gives you 2 coins, but you get to do something funky with it in your deck. It has this back so that you can see it, and you get to put it anywhere in your deck when you shuffle. Stash sucks. It's like just this awful card. It's not really useful for anything, and so I'm going to go ahead and give it an F. It just doesn't do anything. Alright, we have Wald Village. This is a village, clearly. It was released in June of 2011, which was at the time of Cornucopia. It's the same month, to commemorate the anniversary of Carcassonne. The pronunciation, rough. And Anyways, yeah, it's a boring village. It's like really, really boring. It has, it's +1 card, +2 actions, and it has this thing where you might get to top deck it, but if you're running a deck that is using villages, you want to be playing lots of actions, and so this thing never happens. So it just ends up being a 4-cost village. You buy it, so I'm not going to like fail it like I did with Stash, but in terms of excitement level, it is not there. This is a D. Governor was released in October of 2011, which was between Cornucopia and Hinterlands to commemorate the anniversary of Puerto Rico. Governor is this like amazing utility card. You do something, your opponent gets kind of a lesser version of it, and games kind of revolve around it, which doesn't sound the most amazing, but it's actually, I guess, really what you want in a promo. It's like this standalone thing that really has an impact on your games. And I think it has a positive impact on the games. It gives this choose decision where you really have to be careful. Like, especially, I'm not going to give my opponent too much of something. I need to make it an advantage for myself. And so that's actually a really exciting thing. I'm going to knock it a little bit just because this is like text city, which is not a great thing. I mean, obviously on promo, you're going to do something exciting. You need a lot of text, but it's still there. So I'm giving it an A-. A for the card, but a minus for the amount of text on it. All right, Prince. Prince was released in June of 2014, which was between Guilds and Adventures. Originally, Prince was not a duration card. It was not a duration card. It had this weird set aside the Prince wording that was just like totally awful. 2022 errata made it orange, and it was printed that way in September 2024. Before that, it was only orange online, but now you can get it orange if you buy it also. I think that Prince is, especially in its newer form, is a lot more friendly. It's simple. It's a little bit on the weaker side, but it has some nice things that can happen, particularly like an Envoy combo or horses from Menagerie are big deals with Prince. It's not the strongest thing ever, but it's fine. It's definitely a positive addition, so I'm giving it a B+. Summon. Summon is a promo event which was released in November of 2015 between Adventures and Empires. I'm just gonna say, promo event, like, you don't even need to be printing this thing out. Like, you're not actually ever handling any physical event, so, like, nobody's going to come after you if you just, like, write this down on a piece of paper. You can put like a 5 in the corner, and you can just put it down on your table. I'm gonna put it out there, just a thought. And you can play with it just as well as anything else, but Summon is going to be something that is it's kind of an exotic effect, which is cool. It has really nice art. I'm just going to point out Butterfly. You should totally draw a butterfly when you make this piece of paper that you write it on. Definitely draw a butterfly. Anyways, gaining an action, setting it aside. It's pretty exciting. Like, this is something where you can do pretty exciting things with Summon. I am going to knock it a little bit just because, as I say, promo event, A-. Sauna Avanto, Split Pile, which came out in September of 2016 for Finnish publisher anniversary. You can see this is kind of Finland themed. Saunas and Avantos are of Finnish origin. This was between Empires and Nocturne. This is a split pile, and it works really well with itself. You can play Sauna, you can play Avanto, you can play Sauna, you can play Avanto, you can play Sauna, you can play Avanto, if you get enough of them. This is a really, it's a fun thing, it's a satisfying thing to do, is just to like, whoosh, I'm playing all these cards, and they let me play each other. Sauna even lets you thin a little bit so that this becomes an easier thing to do. It semi-dominates games, but like, not that much. Like, if you know how to play around it, you'll kind of find that this is not like an every game kind of thing, despite its power if you get all of them, just because, particularly in 2-player games, you have to get through all the Saunas to get to Avantos, and so, I think it ends up being a really quality decision in most of the games. Like, am I going to go after this thing? Is my opponent going to be following me? Because if my opponent doesn't follow me, you don't really want to be doing that, right? And so, I'm giving this one an A just because I think that decision is pretty compelling. Dismantle. This was in December of 2017, which is around the time of when Nocturne was being released. It was for Dominion Anniversary. This is, I guess, the 10th-ish year. You can notice that that's maybe a little bit off, but Dismantle is this gainer. It'll gain golds. Eventually what happens is, like, you trash this card from your hand, you're going to get a cheaper card. If you trash an estate, you're going to get a copper out of it. You're going to get a gold too, maybe a little bit better. Eventually what happens is that it really just ends up being this gainer of 5 cost that's difficult to use. You have to trash a gold, and then you're going to have to redraw both the gold and the 5 cost. It's not particularly exciting. I don't think that there's really anything that's that compelling about Dismantle. It's a 5 cost gainer. I mean, as a promo goes, and I think you probably expect a little bit more, and so I'm going to go ahead and give it a C+. Church was released in August of 2019, along with what I'm going to show next, which is Captain, which is between Renaissance Menagerie. There is this tournament, Jubilee tournament, held in Germany by the German publisher, that the winner of it got a card for their state, promo card for their state, which this one is, and a promo card for the person, which will be Captain. So this is a real thing. It's Dome and Schwerin. And this is, it's a trasher. It's something that you use early game. It's really, really pleasant to play with. I don't know that it has, like, the real promo excitement value that you often get, but it's pleasant enough to play with that I'm willing to ignore that, just because, you know, this is its card that will get your deck going really nicely, and so I'm going to give it an A. As promised, this is Captain. Same release stuff as Church, except that this one is the player. So this is a real person. This is somebody in the Dominion community. Handle is called RTT. And this is a power card. Now at the start of your next turn, you're gonna get to play a 4 cost from the supply, and this is usually a really nice thing to do. You have villages, you have draw cards that cost less than 4. It's very, very strong. The one thing about this is, because it costs 6 and is very, very strong, you get a little bit more snowball than I generally like in a card. That said, it's fun to play with, so A- still. And our latest promo at this point is Marchland. This was in March of 2024, which at this point was a little over a year ago for me. This is between Plunder and the Rising Sun expansion. This is actually originally in Hinterland's 2nd edition, but didn't really fit. It replaces removed Hinterland's card called Silk Road, which said worth 1 VP per 4 victory cards you have, so this ends up being a little bit stronger on the points, with, I guess, the exchange being that it costs 5 instead of 4. It also has this undertext where kind of rewards, I guess you can say, putting a lot of green in your deck and then buying Marchland. Suddenly those green cards turn into coppers, essentially coppers for you, buying-wise. It is a little bit dominating at times, when it appears and you're going to be going into extended greening phases, like Marchland is the way you go. A lot of the time. That's something that has going for you, but at the end of the day, it is just a victory card. Like, the thing that makes Dominion fun is getting to play out your action cards and whatnot, and so I'm giving this one a B. Anyways, that's all the promo cards that are up to date. If you're looking for another one, too bad it's not in this video, and I don't know, as I say, make your decision. I don't know that I'd really go out of my way to buy these, but they're fun cards. There are a lot of good grades in there, and so maybe find a way to put them into your games.